give you a short overview of the history of automated transit, and give you some ideas, visionary ideas about what could be done with the pod in the public transport system. As you can see here, this is where the Park Shuttle Reviewing project started with. It was a vision drawn, hand drawn, because there were no computer graphics at that days. It's back to 1994, and it showed that the idea was you have a metro and you have small shuttles going from the metro station towards the business area park, to bring in this high frequency service from the metro station towards the business park. Okay. Short introduction of myself. I work as an independent consultant in the Netherlands, do a lot of transport, maybe most of the time public transport related studies. This is art's impression of new station, Amsterdam South Station, with simulations of number of people on the platforms, are they wide enough, etc. Okay, then back to advanced transport. Well, there are different kind of advanced transport systems, and there is a slight difference between advanced transport and pods and PRT and APM systems. The Advanced Transportation Center has this kind of definition. It's a point where advanced manufacturing and information technology intersect. So it's more than just a vehicle. It is also about lightweight materials, maybe 3D printing, modern manufacturing, sustainability, etc. Pods, PRT and APMs are automated transit services that have some characteristics of advanced transportations, but also some characteristics of route, scheduled public transport systems. Well, it starts with a dream. Why dream about automated transit? Yeah, you all know that already. Driver costs are quite high. When you have it automated, you have no limitations. The driver has to drink coffee, but well, that kind of stuff. You can also offer a better quality of operations, punctuality, higher performance, and also have shorter waiting times for the passenger, because you make the system for the passenger. And well, the technology is there to make this passenger happy and to earn some money on it. Safety is an aspect. Well, you have to obey traffic rules. People who are driving a car not always are obeying traffic rules, and so the idea is that automated system would be more safe. When you look at the history, well, this is an APM, automated people mover system. Characteristics are fixed route, stops, mechanically guided, obstacle-free infrastructure you need, and you have of course some safety systems, traffic control system. Most of the time you have platform doors, and you have of course electronic systems, also sometimes obstacle detection systems and other electronic systems that are used to keep the system safe. Well, main systems are on airports, and there are some driverless metros, as this in Toulouse in France. Then you have PRT, of course, characteristics, direct, personal trip, origin, destination. Most of the time it's planned as a station-to-station situation. There also were in the past some PRT systems that were dual mode, so that could use dedicated infrastructure and also partly use roads. Most of the time it's mechanically guided, offline stations, obstacle-free infrastructure you need, and you need of course the safety systems. Here are some examples from the past. You have a Raytheon that worked on a PRT system in the US in the late 90s, and this is a rendering that was made for a system where I worked on in Holland. It's in Almelo. It's a city about 60,000 people, and well, it was back in 2005. The greatest disadvantages of PRT, in my opinion, are that you need quite costly infrastructure. Also the problem with the environmental impact of infrastructure. Most city planners don't want to have an elevated infrastructure in their city. And of course there is what I call a lack of experience. What I mean with that is not that you are not have a lot of experience with PRT and with planning PRT system, but there is not a PRT system with a scale that's large enough to accommodate existing and to replace existing car trips. So that's still yeah, a point for the future. Back in the 70s, and this is a drawing I found in a book. It's from 1970. Where there was a kind of dual mode autonomous driving on well, on a concrete infrastructure, but it could also drive on ordinary roads. This is a system, roof system, Denmark, very long. That's been worked on for a very long period of time. And the main issue with that system was, and you can see it here, you have a kind of V-shape spare in the vehicle, so that could fit on the infrastructure. Well, dual PRT is able to move in the streets, existing streets too, so that could make more dense, more dense network. People could even drive to their home with the PRT system and use it back to go to another place and partly use dedicated infrastructure. So, well, the problem is that you have special vehicles. You need special vehicles, and you have also the costs and the environmental impact of the infrastructure, but less than in the non-dual mode PRT systems. Well, Park Shuttle started actually with a simple idea. We wanted to triple the frequency for the passengers at the same operation cost. That was the idea behind the system, and it was a vision of a frequent shuttle system. Functional concept like on demand, like a lift, separate tracks, street level crossings, and limited speed. Well, there were some challenges, of course, and safety concept. As you can see, not all people were convinced in that days that we could keep our bus on the road. So it says, when the experimental phase is behind, okay, then it could be working, but now the bus is in the water. Of course, it was the same problems as you have: political decisions to create fundings, that kind of stuff. Obstacle detection systems were in that days less than today, so the advances were quite great. And I what especially was a topic is that the deceleration of the vehicle. What should you do when something occurs? How fast should you stop? How fast can you stop? You can hurt the person in front of the vehicle, or you can hurt the passengers in the vehicle. What decision do you take? That kind of discussions we made. I think that this discussion will still remain. Also social security, what we call in Holland, that is feel people safe and comfortable. Do women can use safely the system, also in nights, and do they feel comfortable and safe? Safety on crossings, and the accuracy of driving and stopping, and of course the traffic control system. These are also topics that we have discussed about. Due to time, I won't go to be too detailed with that. Which standards should we meet with the vehicle? Which requirement specifications should we make? Is there allowance from city? Can we insurance the vehicle so that we can transport people with it? That kind of aspects. Then we have, of course, nowadays also pods. Characteristics, yeah, you know already. So, limited speed operation on public roads in mixed traffic is the goal, but well, with some limitations it's possible, but it's still in a pilot phase. When you look to public transport, you always have the economic need to combine travel needs. Because it's too expensive to transport all people directly. Otherwise you would have a kind of taxi system. So you combine travel needs, and well, that's the idea is that you have routes where a lot of people travel, and then you can combine 20 people in a bus, or maybe 200 in a tram, or maybe 1,000 in a metro system. But the disadvantage for people is that not always the shortest route. It's not a direct trip for a lot of people. Some have a direct trip, but you have to change at hubs. You need stops, and people have to walk or bike or go by car to a stop. And you have, of course, scheduled trips, so people have to check their mobile phones, how what is the departure time of the trip I want to take, and have waiting times, of course. Yeah. Well, the typical public transport network has more frequent routes. That's the backbone of the network. Most of the time, the metro system, or the light rail, or the bus rapid transit system, and to have less frequent routes, often partly parallel to the more frequent network. To my opinion, the opportunities for pods lie in bringing more people to the frequent network. So to create feeder systems to the frequent network and increase the quality of the network. Then you can replace longer and less frequent bus services by short pod routes, and well, create a more efficient network that is also good for the customer. This is a part of Antwerp. I made a presentation for the students in the design challenge. That didn't happen because there were not enough students for the design challenge. So this is a kind of idea that you could draw with pods towards the frequent network. And most important, and you are all visionary people here, is that it starts with a vision. This is a visual I made for 2060 on the design challenge in Holland, and we draw kind of pods. There are a lot of pods here waiting for people, and this is kind of hub at a station in Holland, and we discussed a lot about whether these pods will be short trips only, or could they replace the train system too? Well, my vision is short shuttle services, start small, anticipate to grow, but think about growth. Be creative and flexible. Involve municipalities, citizens and operators, and be persuasive, because it takes a long time. Communicate well and open. And try. Accept errors and then succeed. That's my presentation.